Let me do a check quick to make sure that we're live. It looks like we are. Okay, what's going on? My name's Galaxy. Um, this is part 6 of the Project EAD live devlog, whatever I'm calling it. If you watched my previous videos, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Seeing the 10, 12 views on those really made me want to keep this going. But life's been busy, and if I sound different in those videos, it's because I'm getting over a cold and my voice is really deep for some reason. So I apologize, and you're welcome. So in this video, I am actually going to go over a bit of the old game of Project EAD and talk about the next part of Project EAD that I'm working on. Um, excuse me, I need to work on that. I will be clearing my throat, and hopefully not coughing too much, but I have my feel good tea to help get me through. Uh, so let me just send this message in the chat real quick. What's up, chat? There's not anybody in here, but I'm saying hi to you in case you do pop in. So, first things first, we're gonna go over a video of the original Project EAD. We're gonna talk about the things I like, the things I'm gonna keep, the things I'm gonna change, and then I want to talk about why I'm making this change to the game and what my motivations are. So, I've been just put it all in the swing around the time of my last video, which looks like around 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, I started working for an indie game company called Third Pie Studios on their new game that they're releasing. So kind of because of that, I took a back seat on or put Project EAD on the back burner. The point of these personal projects is to get work it on your portfolio and get it on a bigger team. So that's been awesome. I really enjoy working with them. They're awesome. If you can check out Third Pie Studios and their game Ages of Katari, I worked on that, so that's awesome to say. So we really appreciate that. And yeah, so now I'm ending that contract soon. I have plans, other plans in the works that'll be TBD, and maybe I'll talk about it on here, maybe I won't, but we're back. We're back on Project EAD, and to start off, we're gonna look at a video I did recently, and we're just gonna break down the stuff I see. And you can also go back and look at my previous devlog videos for any more context. I go into explaining a lot more in those. So for starters, and I'm gonna try not to make this be a super long part of it, but for starters, this is the home screen I made. I am not an artist. I am not super great at UI, and this is just a portfolio piece. So what I did here was I have a demo level that's pretty much a carbon copy of the in-game level, and I have a couple different enemies kind of scattered around. And the camera angle will actually change based on if the enemy is a smaller individual, I did all that manually, or larger. It'll actually mix up the number of enemies from 1 to 3. And I don't know in this video if it shows it, but it'll also show one of the bosses on the home screen as well. So I thought that was cool. I wish games had more dynamic home screens. It kind of makes sense because people just kind of skip them. But this was fun to make, and I'm glad I made it. So controls page, excuse me, story page, credits. Shout out to the homie Cameron for the models that he provided, and shout out to the homie Josh Matthews. He's actually working on an awesome game, doing the music for one of those. So that's been super cool. So this is my little test level. It's supposed to be, or will eventually turn into a big, starting town. Yeah, I'm gonna go quick because all this stuff is in the other devlog, so I don't need to break all this stuff down. But this is the character screen. I'll actually probably be building a new one in this video. So basically, you see the purple numbers, the amount of essence that it costs to upgrade this stat. The white number with the plus sign is how much it'll increase, and the number to the left is how much the current stat is. If I move my, oop, not that, but if I move my head, Jesus Christ. I haven't used OBS Studio in a while, forgive me. I can see that it's also a page for companions, so you can level up companions and build them how you want. So I think here, starting off with a little bit less essence than I would like because it's another recent playthrough. And I'm just playing with the level ups. I do try and do a whole game here, but this is just me leveling up the stats. So movement is just how fast you walk. Melee is the attack damage. Ranged is the projectile damage when you do a ranged attack. Another less great menu screen. One thing I want to work on is better menu screens and control screens like that. But not my primary purpose, I'm a mechanics guy, so that's what I build. Also having the numbers appear when you hit things, so you kind of have a better idea how much damage you're doing. So here's the character screen. Here you can change the kind of character, their color, and stuff like that. I didn't go super in depth. I just wanted some basic stuff. I show a little bit more into that in other videos. So this is in the level. When you hit an enemy, it shows blue, except for when you hit them with a range attack, then it shows red. After enemies die, they ragdoll. I appreciate that function. There's pickups around the map. Green for health, yellow for stamina. I hope that's very obvious with the color of the bars. One thing I try to work on is making sure, it's easy for players to correlate stuff like that. After 20 seconds, the wave starts. And looks like we're getting a little bit of frame drops here on the enemy spawns, but something I need to work on as well. I have plans for that in this incoming videos. Yep, and when you get hit, it's also red. The purple ones are essence, and if you pick up a green or yellow orb after your health is above a certain amount, it'll give you essence. And that's a yellow orb that's stuck on a tree. I never checked. I don't think I checked to make sure that they wouldn't end up spawning in weird places like that. So now I'm running around. We're on wave 3, as you can see in the top right corner, and yeah, it's cool seeing it. I'm really glad I got this far. It's nothing super spectacular, and it sounds like the music stopped. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, started back up again. Love to see it. So yeah, I was really happy with this. So tell you what, we've seen a lot of this. We can actually skip to the end. So this is at the beginning of, or at the end of wave 5. After you defeat all the enemies of the wave. Excuse me. the boss appears. Probably need to add a text to the boss to make sure we know who, player knows who they're fighting. I made him a little bit too strong. And by a little bit, I mean like if you have under like 140 health, he'll one shot you. Wait, 140? It might be like 300. No, 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 no. I lowered his damage. Yeah, okay, good, good, good. So he does around 30 damage per hit, so he hits pretty hard. And doesn't leave a lot of openings for the player to attack, especially for the first boss. So scaling down enemies like that is something I'll work on in this next one. So I actually end up getting like mollywopped at some point in this one. Yep. So hey, that's Project EAD. The boss actually performs different depending on how much damage he's taken, and I closed the wrong screen there. And the player's distance. So I actually used range attacks when he's afar and melee attacks when the player's close. So I might change up stuff like that, but that is Project EAD. I'm gonna call version 1 now. For this next one, and I keep on looking at my other monitor instead of directly ahead. And that's gonna be a habit I need to work out on myself. So keep on looking at myself over here. Being sick sucks, guys. Don't do it. So to get into Project EAD version 2, um, for this one, I'm using a lot of the bones of the original game, and I'm gonna be creating a multiplayer game. Uh, I've been doing a lot of studying on server client interaction and how to make a server, how to get stuff across a server. I tried this before with an older project, Dark Fantasy. Jeez, I have so many. I should show that one. But now we're going it again. I've learned, a lot in these past years working for these other companies and performing different feats, whether it's programming or, testing. And I feel ready to to do a multiplayer game. So I really like the way Project EAD version 1 was going. I think having a player and their like companions, their core team, was really cool. So for this art, and it's gonna be an RTS, like let's say like Warhammer 3, one game I like a lot is Spellforge. Um, Dragon's Age 3 gave some like kind of top-down RTS mechanics a little bit, so this will be kind of a blend of some different genres. I plan for it to not be super ambitious, but I do want some main things that I want to have in. Multiplayer is a big thing, um, especially when I'm like dying but trying to live. I swear, like I'm not trying to die on purpose. So this is me actually. Will this show on OBS right now? No. Well, I have to put full screen mode on. So this is actually another player here, and they're gonna summon units as well. And say like have them move over. And if we had them meet in the middle, as we click on them, we can see that this guy is an enemy, because their box is red instead of purple. I like the color purple, so some stuff might be purple, as you can see on the screen. So, and then if you right click on the enemy, he'll run up to him. Doesn't attack just yet. They don't see each other just yet. There's not a lot of complicated mechanics to these guys. I'm using little bits of the AI that were in version 0.1, but really just wanted to make sure I'm getting core mechanics worked in. Before that, I want to get in where you hold the button down. It'll move them. Right now, they only move on a press, and it messes with the camera turning function. So I definitely have some ways to go. And my goal with this devlog series is to take you guys with me. So if you're along for the ride, I appreciate it. And we can probably dive into the code. I will say I've looked up a lot of stuff on YouTube for creating RTSs in Unreal Engine. Um, a lot of the issues Unreal Engine has when it comes to that is having a lot of actors. Sorry, I used to have a bunch of actors here to test frame rate. I deleted them, so they are gone. But so that'll be something that I want to overcome in this one. We know games like Paragon are able to run a bunch of AI, really simple ones, while also having 10 players move around. And well, Paragon, predecessor, if you know Unreal Engine, you know what game I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. But for this video, let's see. Let's go over some of the things that let's go over a to-do list. So let me actually change. Let me do something crazy. Is this crazy? No, it's not crazy. We're gonna change this view from Unreal to the display, and then we're gonna use I only gave myself a limited time to do this, but we're gonna use OBS. I've been talking and the mic's been up. Darn. Darn. But let's keep going. Let's see. Let's just focus on this video. And I was definitely rambling, but the main thing I said was I wanted to add this game's white papers so people can follow along, see the projects that's been made and that's planned for a vertical slice. So this is what we're doing for this one, and my head is a little bit in the way. We're going to be making a unit upgrade menu, and for my sanity, let's just use this instead of Notepad, so I don't have to worry about moving around the Notepad. So, anybody who's had to make a video series semi on the fly knows, hey, I'm trying my best here. I did not plan all this out beforehand, so unit upgrade menu. We all know it's Project EAD. I don't need to say that. If you clicked on the video, you know what it is. So, can I change the size? OBS, can I change the size? Do I have to manually change the size? I do. That's fine. So upgrade menu, we're gonna create, and creating a list is the best way I know how to do things. If you don't and are able to function and get things complete, I respect your drive and your ability, but I'm gonna make a list and we're gonna scratch things off this list as we go down so we can see our progress. So we're going to create a UI for upgrading. To be a little bit more specific. Upgrading. And I've done this before, so it shouldn't be too super new stuff. And you saw that in the video, the EAD. And then we're going to check unit upgrades appear on server and client. Simple, you know, two things. Boom, boom. Is there going to be some more complex little jargon in the middle? Absolutely. But for now, you do not rap. Why don't you rap? Can you rap if I shorten you like this? No, you shrink. Ooh, that's going to be annoying. Okay, it looks jumbled, and I'm not going to let my OCD control me. You are the master on your own fates, ladies and gentlemen. So, to start off, I have a widget, and I don't love this being on the screen right now, so just let me confirm this, and when we need to check what we're doing, I'm going to pop that back up, because my head's already taking up uh, a lot of real estate. So, I have a UI here. It's called the unit upgrade. Guess what it's going to do? I hope you don't need to. It's going to be the UI that we use to upgrade our unit. So, we'll just put this. This is a variable, so I might go a little bit fast, and I honestly might not do everything great, but I'm just going to explain how I do things when it comes to making UI and implementing them. And if you have any tips for me, feel free to throw them down in the comments section. I honestly, truly, super appreciate it from bottom of my little programmer soul. So let's do 8. It's gonna be purple. Listen, it's not great, I know, but this is how I've decided to live life, and 0.5 was honestly fine. So I just checked to make sure that it actually mutes myself and I'm not still coughing disgustingness into the mic. Um, I want, what do I want? I think someone's home. They're making noise. And I hope it's not someone unknown in my house. But I also didn't leave downstairs super clean, so let's keep rolling. So this is gonna go inside of this vertical box. So what I'm gonna do is add a, we know this is the unit menu. It doesn't actually need to say unit name. So we're just gonna have name. We're actually gonna wrap this with a horizontal box. And then we're gonna make an editable text block here so that players can create the name of their units. You will also fill. Sorry, you will also fill. And in turn, you will fill and you will fill. You already set to fill. Okay. Yep, that's what we wanted. So let's just say and your difference in size compared to the default text confuses and I don't want to use the word frustrates, but that's the one coming to mind. Alright, so I'll just copy and paste that, hoping it would actually change the font size and engendering confusion when it does. There it is. Just had to compile. Love to see it. So now we have an editable text box that was called enter name. We have unit name. We're going to add in another text box. For this upgrade, we're only going to mess with their health, attack, speed, and size. Those are the easiest to test at this stage of the game. And if we have time, I'm actually on a time limit. Unfortunately, I might go a little bit over to get this in, but I have other work to do. But on we go. So naming your boxes is helpful when working with widgets. If you are going to be a programmer that uses widgets, that is going to be using widgets, or that has to even deal with widgets, naming them makes it easy on you, I promise. So we have the name, so the player will see, oh, this is their name, and then they will go to this box, and then they will enter their name. On this box, similar to how we have it on the... Damn, I just deleted that. Can you redo, please? It's a downside of not knowing what you're clicking. We're going to have the text. The text is going to be black because I like the purple and black look on my text. And that is the tint and not the color and opacity. You hate to see it. I'm just going to crank that back up to what it was. It's not my first time using Unreal. I swear. Did I just click on something different? I just changed the color and opacity to something to black. I don't know what it was. Being not well in coding is kind of actually my life, so that's kind of on brand. For this next part is going to be a tad bit complex, but that I think will make it more fun. Whether it actually will be, we will see. So for this, I'm now going to find an overlay and I'm going to type it because for some reason all that stuff is minimized. And my patience will not let that go on any longer. We're going to make two buttons. One button will be plus. I'm going to call it health plus. And if you are a genius, which I'm sure all of you watching this are, and amazing human beings, the next one will be called plus minus. I'm sure you all saw that coming. So I'm also going to wrap these with a horizontal box. I can see, I swear. not always like this. Truth is I am, and that's the truth. We're just gonna use 4 zeros here. Well, health upgrade is the name. 4 zeros is the text. Why do we do this? So we know that this box is going to hold, and you guys are out of order. Wonder how I did that. This box is going to be minus, and we already know this box is gonna be plus. So in these buttons, we will equip the functionality to increase the player's health, or the unit's health. The player will increase the unit's health by I haven't decided amounts yet. And I'm also debating on the plus, on the minus. Doesn't make subtracting stats. I will hide you for now. I'll just delete you for now. And we're actually going to delete this, and this is how programming works. Sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes you gotta do what makes sense in the moment. So let's call it help up. We're gonna have the text being plus 10. Then we don't need this horizontal box anymore because we don't have anything in it. We might not need this overlay anymore. I could have just clicked replace with, but deleting felt right in my soul. So that's what I did. So we put this health. Whoa. Darn it. I deleted the button. When did I delete the button? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Excuse me, darn. I've been trying not to do that. Oh, health plus became the vertical box. I try to keep the name simple. Unreal helps a lot by having icons that mean what the thing is. So you don't have to remember everything. So I have, sorry, my Jesus Christ. There's a reason I gave myself a time limit for this. Struggling. So we're gonna add a slider It's going to be a health slider. Health up slider. So with this slider, the player will be able to choose how great of an increase this plus button is. Oof. So maybe if the default is 1, we make the highest value 100, 1,000, sorry. Uh, Having it be 1,000, 10,000, that says. Gastrically, I'm suffering. So I apologize for any gas that escapes me that might be unpleasant to the ears. Um, so now we have a green slider bar, a health text, and a health text. This will be unit health. So we're at one of 4, and the next part will be made easier by duplicating unit attack and have this bar be red. We're actually going to leave, and I have a few colors saved on that wheel, so that kind of works out. Ooh. Yeah, the wrong thing. We're learning from our mistakes. Just doing ATK or HP would probably make this go by so much smoother, but you know, if you can shorten it, the milliseconds it takes to type, I swear it just feels better, you know. So we have renamed all of the things except for the slider. So now everything's been renamed. We're gonna grab this, we're gonna duplicate both of them. You won't let me do that. That's fair, I think. I don't know how or why or why. I press that. I said health, attack, speed, and size. So if you need to skip ahead, I will not blame you. I swear you're only missing renaming, and I could probably talk about something useful in the midterm. Hey, make sure to go exercise, guys. It's good for you. It helps your mind, it helps your soul. Um, you know what they say, when your soul is in pain, do push-ups. Who says that? Someone has. Whether you should listen to them or not, you know. I guess I just said it, you know. Not claiming that'll do anything, but you'll have arms that are pretty large depending on the amount of hurt. So if randomling helps, let me know. If not, we'll find out. So That's everything for the speed box. And now for the size box. The size box is going to be a little different. And one of the things that always stops me from posting stuff like this is for a lot of people, coding is like super boring, but that's not the fault of it's only the fault of the person who's not making it more interesting. What color will size be? Any any ideas what color size would represent? Let's go like a let's go purple. No, purple blending with the back too much. If green, we don't have a blue yet, and we're not messing with mana yet, so or energy, so I'll make that blue. It's not a huge deal. So the maximum size is actually going to be 10 because don't need that going crazy. So the default size is actually going to be 1, and you look strange. So I need you. I need you to look better, but not so much that you look weirder than everything else. If I make the text in the middle for every, so this is a widget problem solving thing. Let me know if this helps you guys out. So there's a margin. I was gonna use padding, but maybe margin would be better. If we do 20 on the margins on both sides, why aren't you doing what I expect? Do 20 on the margins on both sides. I'll have to add in a function that scales down the font size to match the number of zeros that are in this. That's absolutely positively a later thing, and it may also just be fine for that to be the case, but since we know that'll be the case, let's bring down the font to like a 20, and the padding stays. Should it be padding instead of margin? No, wait. We make the padding 30 on both sides and have the margins go back to 20 on each side. And then let's say you are 2 0 start. Yeah, that's gonna take some troubleshooting. I don't remember if I had a fix for that in the previous version, but it's honestly not that serious at this moment. But that will be looked into. So we have this value max at 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and 10,000. So for right now, we have completed our unit widget. Is it super pretty? No. Will we make it work? Yes, absolutely. So there's some things we need to do here. We're gonna add a variable that's called selected unit. We're also going to add one that's going to be in for my game, name of the game, character name, EAD unit. It's a parent class for all the units. Selected unit and controller. I'm just going to say player. And that is going to be our controller for this game. For this, a lot of stuff is going through the server client. From my research, it's better to have stuff going on through the controllers since that'll permeate between server client easier than just a character, especially if it's important information. This is the type of information that's important. Ideally, the controller will be using at least 2 or 3 different characters in this game. So to keep it pushing, we're going to remove this. We're going to make a function, not override, please. Make a function get unit. Guess what this will do? We're all smart here. We're going to get our selected unit. We're going to get its name. Have all these variables created in these already from the previous game, so it should be pretty simple setting them up. This actually does not need to be a variable. I don't want to get confused with this. That's my alarm. So let me just reset that. It's crazy. It's already been pretty much an hour and I haven't really done anything. I did spend a good bit in rambling. But hey, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. We're gonna set text, and yes, it is editable text to the players to the unit's name. Ideally, I would break these up into like sections and create a function for each one. And if it'll eventually come down to that, but for right now, that's fine. Does not have to be so. So what I just did was set text. We're gonna format the text. I like formatting better than having multiple text boxes, but there are cases where multiple text boxes would be good. For example, in and this is relevant, so it's not a tangent. No, don't believe me when I say things like that. It might be a tangent. This is another unit upgrade widget that looks like an exact copy of Unreal. What are you doing? What? That's legit concerning, to be honest. And you're blank. What? What? Ignore it. So, for example, these are two different text boxes. Oops. Because I would want to be a different color to represent something different. And that might be why you want a different text box. It was close there. I was in danger, going off the rails. We brought it back though. We got this. So I'm gonna get health, drag that into this HP node. We're going to just copy this with Control D, or duplicate this with Control D. We're gonna call this attack. We're just gonna change this to AK, even though that doesn't super affect anything. We're gonna grab the unit's attack variable. And to be honest, I think it might still be called strength. Because, RPGs. Yes, it is. We'll leave it strength. I named everything attack, though. I was going to call it strength at some point, so calling it attack now only makes it harder on myself. But that's fine. We'll be okay. Just gonna drag this off so I can do this in hopes that it doesn't make everything super chaotic. Everybody likes spaghetti except when it comes to code. Next, we're going to call it speed is the fourth one. We're going to leave the AK because oh, darn. Don't feel like changing it, and it's also that changing that does nothing. So maybe you could even put like X there if you're formatting, so that you don't have to worry about getting confused. What I didn't do is change this. Whoops. Need you here. Unit attack, unit speed, and on this next one, it's going to be unit size. So I dragged from our variables panel into the one we want. Says, ooh, no. You're not private. I will change it to private later. Because having stuff just be public everywhere isn't super great. But why are you private? Well, I mean, why are you not? Why? Well, okay. Holy fudge! Did I must have been spelling size wrong. Which, I don't put past me, so you shouldn't either. Okay, so now we have our get unit being called at event construct. Why not? We don't really on pre-struct. We're just gonna call get player controller. And even this should be probably set and spawn. My wife is calling. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Like I said, my wife called, so I was talking to her, having me listen to some of her music. So while I was muted, I added some functionality to the slider bar. We're going to make it so that when these buttons are clicked, that it adds health to the unit. And I actually, instead of doing this, am going to get a call to, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to go to class settings, go to interface. We're going to go IE. Jesus. The I is what I use to know that it's an interface that I created. So we're gonna go IEXP and status, and we're actually gonna go into this interface, and we're going to add a function called upgrade unit. I think that's fine. We're gonna add an enum. That is the stat. And I should have a stat enum in here. Checking or implementing before checking is kind of wild. Stats list. Let me look at this and make sure it's what I want. Data. Ooh. We have a stat cost enum. Why do I have a stat cost? And what is stats list? Stats list looks like what we want. I'm going to rename this to attack. I am playing around with the idea of it being attack or strength. I remembered the reason why I made it attack in the first place is so I don't need to have different value for ranged and strength starting off with. But stat list is fine, and then amount. It's going to be an integer. So now we're going to go to our controller. Sorry, I did not mean to click on whatever that was. I gotta wrap this up soon. Okay. I'm gonna finish this on mute, and I'll probably talk over it afterwards. So, appreciate y'all for being here.